up front, and you don't look back.
Win and you're in.
Win or go home.
Cars change, things change. Anything can happen.
Can one of these drivers race their way in to the All-Star race?
It's really about who wants it the most.
I think this may be the hardest race to win.
Win and you're in.
You got to be bold. You got to be brash. You got to be a trendsetter.
It's time for the Sprint Showdown, where these drivers are out to prove they deserve a shot to race with the best. Who will endure? Who will advance to the All-Star race? Find out right here, right now on FS1.
It's the start of a Sprint All-Star doubleheader. 15 drivers already in tonight's Sprint All-Star race. We're going to determine the final 5. From Charlotte Motor Speedway, we're live on FS1, and the Sprint Showdown is coming your way. You see, it's a soggy scene because of the rain, and the weather, 60% chance of rain today. Cloudy, but most of the rain has gone through. It's still kind of a saturated scene that has affected things throughout the weekend. But we're glad you're with us, and we're ready to get the cars rolling again. Michael Waltrip, I'm Chris Myers. And Michael, you won a couple of showdowns, transferred in to win the All-Star race. And for this race, the Showdown, it's a race of opportunity.
Yeah, and this field is stacked, Chris. Some of our sport's biggest stars aren't in the All-Star race, and they want to put their teams there. I remember when I came here in 1996, I was driving for the Wood Brothers. I said, the Wood Brothers belong in the All-Star race. I got to get them in there. That's the pressure of these drivers like Chase Elliott starting up front, Ryan Blaney in the Wood Brothers car. That's what they're feeling right now. They've got to get their team in. This is an important event.
And veterans like a Clint Boyer, right, who's had some success, a Danica Patrick. Let's show you what the day is looking like since rain played havoc with the schedule yesterday. The Showdown is coming up, and then the trucks at noon on FS1. The Sprint All-Star qualifying, and then the Sprint All-Star race at 8:30. Tonight's race will feature Jimmy Johnson trying for his 5th Sprint All-Star win. That's the most all-time. Kyle Busch, 3 wins during the season. Here we're at the 1/3 mark of the season, and that leads all drivers. But Kyle Busch has never won an All-Star race or a Cup race on this track. He has Adam Stevens, his regular crew chief, back with him. A check of the headlines brought to you by KFC. This is the weather we were talking about. The diehard fans on Friday had a good time hanging out, waiting, hoping that something would happen. They had the jet dryers, air Titans. There are plenty of those around. Meanwhile, in the All-Star practice, once they got going this morning, Denny Hamlin got out first, won the All-Star race last year. Then water seeping from underneath the track. Didn't rain. The rain had let up after they dried the track. Brad Keselowski ended up with the fastest time. Yesterday, Kevin Harvick saying the rumors cleared him up. Never had any intention of leaving Stewart-Haas to join Hendrick Motorsports. This past week, he signed a long-term contract extension with Stewart-Haas. So next year, the team going from Chevy to Ford with Kevin Harvick.
You know, for me, I had an automatic, 2-year extension that the team held, which everybody was understood that we were going to extend that option. You hear the scuttlebutt, it affects the guys in the shop a lot more than it affects me. So it's all been great with the management at SHR. I like the challenges that face us in the future. That motivates me. So it's all been good. It's just been some crazy rumors that just however they got started,
It's happened more often than you think. A past champion switching manufacturers, Brad Keselowski, Tony Stewart, even the late Dale Earnhardt. So it's really not that big a deal.
No, and these companies that use NASCAR to sell their products, we love them all. You love the fact that you're driving a Toyota, but you're beating a Ford, or vice versa. You have to have everybody out there on the track to make this thing complete for the fans. So Kevin Harvick is going to be comfortable where he's at. What a combination he and Rodney Childers are. That's probably the most dynamic duo as far as crew chief and driver goes today.
Yeah, and with Tony Stewart, who celebrated his birthday, 45 years old yesterday, and a happy birthday, stepping aside as the driver part, still in the ownership, and Clint Boyer stepping in, that could be the lead dog for that race team. All right, the Showdown format, let's take a look. 3 segments. First 2 segments are 20 laps, then a final 10 green flag lap segment. There are mandatory pit stops at the end of the first 2 segments. And all three of the segment winners transferred to tonight's Sprint All Star race, along with the top 2 fan vote getters. So essentially, you've got 25 drivers. You've gone through some of the names, Michael, aiming for 5 spots. So we'll get a total of 20 drivers in the All Star race once we go tonight. And this is special because we're celebrating drivers that these are the best of the best. You trot out 40 drivers every week, but then we're going to have the best 20 going tonight. And as we said, among those in the showdown, there's going to be some strategy of where they want to be, and they'll have 3 chances and then the votes to get in. Yeah,
if you've watched the Pro Bowl or maybe the NBA All Star games, they don't play much defense. There's not a whole lot of
yeah, so what are we going to see here?
We're going to see 200-mile-an-hour, wide open, desperate moves trying to get in the All Star race during this event. Greg Biffle starting in the middle of the pack. You saw Danica there. I can't figure out who to make my favorite. I like the track position that our front row has. Austin Dillon, you see there, talking to Ricky Stenhouse. Stenhouse in the top 10. He's going to be fast. Kyle Larson could be a favorite. He's not in the top 5. There's going to be a lot of movement going on during this showdown, and I can't wait to watch.
You're going to see drivers take chances that normally they wouldn't take,
no
right?
doubt.
They don't have to worry about points, standings, that type of thing.
And you've got to be in the All-Star race. It's a big deal.
You get in, you get $1 million. We'll be here to watch with you.
That's a real big deal.
Showdown, that is a big deal. Start counting. The showdown is ready to roll. We're glad you're watching FS1 Live from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Live here on FS1 as we get ready for the Sprint Showdown, the All-Star race tonight. The weather cooperating for the moment and the track drying out there. You mentioned, Michael, Kyle Larson starting 7th. Never raced in an All-Star race before.
I don't know how he's going to get 3 wide going into turn 1 starting on the inside, Chris, but I guarantee you when Daryl, Mike, and Jeff call this race, he will be 3 wide. That guy can go. The track is green, and I don't think he cares.
There is Greg Biffle, won the first segment of the Sprint Showdown last season, 13th in All-Star race, competed over the last 12 years, winless of the last 3 seasons, so hoping for an All-Star win here.
Talk to David Reagan, brand new car, never has hit the track. So when they take the green flag at 200 miles an hour, when they roll off into turn 3, he's going to see what that new car feels like.
I mean, by nature, you drivers are thrill seekers and adventurers. Eric Almirola starting 11th, 3 straight top 10 finishes in the Sprint Showdown. And you mentioned 20-year-old Chase Elliott in the 24 car. He's been the best Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet finisher in the last 3 races.
Yeah, and just outside of him, a guy that's made a lot of noise in the 2016 season, Austin Dillon. So that front row is loaded up, and then right behind them, we talked about Ryan Blaney. He's a guy that you're going to have to beat if you want to be in this race.
Ricky Stenhouse starting 6th and finished 2nd in the Sprint Showdown back in 2013 is standing by with our Jamie Little.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. didn't have any teammates in that earlier practice, so you're just going to wing it here. What's your plan?
Yeah, our Ford Fusion, I hope it's going to be good. We start 6th. I plan on, since I start on the top, I plan on just sticking to the top, at least for the first lap. See if I can get some good runs off the corner, get by a few guys. Really, I mean, it's going to be tough to win the first segment from 6th, but, you know, if we could set ourselves up for the next 2, get up to, you know, 2nd, 3rd there in that first segment would be ideal for us. So I feel really good about it. Our mile-and-a-half program's been decent here lately, and we'll have to see. We've been really good on the long run, and you need to be good on the short run today. So we're all kind of anxious and ready to go. No practice. Just go right into it with the new downforce package that we got, but it should be fun.
Well, the water has been up high, so I'm going to wish you luck now, Ricky. Chris, let's keep our eye on the 17.
You're chuckling now. We haven't. So you mentioned up high, the high groove, but because of the water, we haven't seen a lot of that. Will that change this evening?
It's going to change as soon as they throw the green flag. Those guys are going to be up next to the wall, and there hadn't been one car up there yet. That's how these guys show how much this race means and how desperate they are to transfer. They will go anywhere to gain a spot.
What caught your eye in the brief 10 minutes of the pit stop where it flying in there under the red flag with the rest of the track drying out?
It caught my eye every time they would dive off the banking that they actually made it. These guys are just thrill seekers, daredevils. Look at these cars coming on pit road through the water, bouncing, sliding, just trying to get it woed down. This is quite an effort.
And with only 25 drivers, and then we'll have 20 on the track, it's a mile and a half around here. You know, you're used to 40 being out there. So how does that change things?
Well, you just have to sort through the traffic. You got the guys that are going to be a part of the story right there in your sights. If you're starting 6th or 7th, you know you've got to get to the front for each one of these segments. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because they're short. You're not going to come up on lap cars. It's just going to be a flat-out sprint race.
And it happens fast. I mean, once we go, the drivers go. So you want to get to the front as fast as you can. And in the showdown, race your way in to the 30-second All-Star race. There's Kyle Larson talking to Danica. Probably said, if I get ahead of you, you can finish after me. And there's Trevor Bain here on FS1. NASCAR's Hall of Fame nearby. There's Austin Dillon as the driver introductions beginning. You saw the Panthers, the NFC defending champions. Greg Olson, a part of the All-Star race festivities, be joining us later this evening with Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers, and these are the 25 drivers we've been talking about and their starting positions.
Yeah, the Sprint Showdown is loaded with talent. Look at A.J. Allmendinger there. We haven't talked much about A.J., but he's going to be strong during this race. Paul Menard always runs well on the big tracks.
Greg Biffle, Danica Patrick, some veterans. I guess with no practice, do the veterans have the experience advantage? Does that help them here or no? It's the wide open, go for it.
I think sometimes what you don't know won't hurt you, and the rookies have a whole lot of don't know right now. They haven't been on the track. They don't know what their cars are going to feel like. They did watch the Sprint All Stars practice, so they got an idea what the track will hold. The times were really fast, over 190 miles an hour during that practice.
And how about the conditions? It's been relatively cool for this time of year. Usually come to Charlotte for this before the 600. It's warm. The temperature's even at night, and that's not the case. It's warmer than it was yesterday. They weren't racing yesterday.
Yeah, it's just speed. That's when the temperatures are cool, the track sticks, the tires stick better to the track, the engines perform better, and the cars just go faster. That means when you're running at the edge of control and you're going that fast, it really heats up in a hurry.
Yeah. Now, if you have to vote, you have the fan vote, and you have 3 drivers, do you go for the person who's more deserving, or do you go for the more popular driver after you see who's raced their way in, the 3 drivers in the showdown?
I like the popular guys. I like Chase Elliott. I'd like to see him in part of this race. I love Ryan Blaney and the Wood brothers. I'd like to see them in there. And Austin Dillon right up there on the front row. He's another guy that deserves to be an all-star.
Yeah, this is an all-star race. So usually when you think of all-star games, yes, people deserving, but you also want to see the people that you like to see, whether it's a young guy coming up or a veteran who's had great success.
How cool would it be to see Chase Elliott mixing it up with Jimmy Johnson? Jimmy's won 4 of these things, going for his 5th. Chase, it'd be his first chance to be an all-star. That would be an awesome matchup.
And interesting the way the schedule fell, that this is all happening on one day, the showdown, and then, of course, tonight, the All-Star race. So we're just about ready to roll with those 25 drivers in the showdown race. You're watching FS1 Live from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tonight in the All-Star race, you'll see past champions, drivers who won the All-Star race, or those who've won a race in 2015 and so far in 2016. This is a group of drivers. 5 more will be a part of that, and they'll be racing in the showdown. Coming right up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as Motor Racing Outreach Chaplain Monty Self offers our invocation.
Heavenly Father, we're thankful for the opportunity to be here today. Father, we don't take the rain for granted, but we're thankful for the sunshine that's shining on the track at this moment. Father, we thank you for all the staff and the hard work that's gone into today's race. Bless them, Father, and for all the competitors and all the track safety crews, we ask, Father, that you'd keep them safe. In all this, we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Please remain standing as Meredith Swanson, music and performing arts teacher from Woodlawn School in Davidson, North Carolina, performs God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairie to the ocean, white with foam. God bless
Swanson and her performance of God Bless America.
2 20-lap segments and then a 10-lap segment in the All-Star Sprint Showdown here on FS1. Well, I may not be breakfast at Wimbledon. Well, how about Cheerios and Charlotte?
I like it.
You like it, Michael? For the Showdown and then the All-Star race here live on FS1. 12 Air Titans are here, 11 jet dryers will help keep things dry if the rain stays out of the way, doing the good work. Hey, the upcoming release of NASCAR Heat Evolution game ties in the All-Star race. Toyota Racing and NASCAR running a competition where the best placing Toyota driver in the All-Star race will be featured on the cover. Pretty cool, and Toyota has dominated the first half of this NASCAR season. When your dad is Bill Elliott and you're Chase Elliott and you're 20, you're on the pole, and you sat on the pole for the Daytona 500, you want to get in this All-Star race.
I just think that he has so much confidence right now. That young man has done an amazing job, been on a great roll lately, solid finishes. I look for him to be the guy to beat in this first segment especially.
Now, Danica Patrick finished in the top 10 in all 3 of the Sprint Showdown races. We'll find she's in there somewhere. She was voted into the All-Star race twice, finished 20th. In 2013 and also in 2015.
Yeah, and she's just such a fan favorite. People gravitate to Danica. She's got such a great personality, and plus she gets behind the wheel of that car and drives it so aggressively. I'm looking forward to watching her go about it today.
Austin Dillon sweeping the Charlotte Xfinity Series races last year, so certainly a home track. Of course, all the drivers and crews nearby, but some success on this track, and the best Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet finisher the last Charlotte race here.
Just think about that. Richard Childress Racing trying to get in the All-Star race. Roush Fenway Racing, they don't have a car in the All-Star race. We have the Wood brothers all desperately wanting to be a part of the big show tonight.
Yep, from Welcome, North Carolina, which is so cool, about an hour from here.
There's my favorite. I think Kyle Larson is going to go high, run around the top of this racetrack, and race himself right into the All-Star race.
Now he led this Sprint Showdown last year, but remember went into the wall with about 10 laps to go and wound up 24.
If this is the kind of guy you want behind the wheel in a race like this, it's a short race, it's a sprint. He's a dirt racer. He's used to running 10, 20-lap races. This is right up his alley.
Wood Brothers, of course, when you won your All-Star race in the Wood Brothers car with Ryan Blaney here, career longest streak of 3 straight top 10 finishes, and the Wood Brothers winning team from you in '96. But for Ryan, this is his first Sprint Showdown. And we will watch closely as we await the command. Thanks for hanging with us through all the rain and weather delay here on FS1.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome your Grand Marshal, Sprint customer, Neely Eggert.
Thank you to our troops. God bless America. Y'all ready for some Sprint Showdown racing? Give me a deal, yeah! Driver, start your engine!
A spirited command. And that's the kind of spirit we're going to see on the track in the Showdown. 25 drivers going for 5 spots in the 32nd annual Sprint All-Star race coming up tonight from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll be watching along with you. Let's head back upstairs to Mike Joy, Darrell Waltrip, and Jeff Gordon.
I'll tell you, Chris, if all 25 drivers are as excited as the person who just gave the command, we're going to have a great showdown here. 3 segments. It's been a topsy-turvy day. Dale Jr. just tweeted, maybe I can sneak out during the showdown to get a little more practice, and maybe he might. But for these 25 drivers, it's their chance to shine and their chance to get into the All-Star tilt, and they got 3 good chances to do it.
They do. This is an exciting format. It's going to be short. It's going to be chaotic, as we've already seen this day start out that way with practice, but they've not had any laps on the track. I think that's huge. They don't know if the cars are going to hit the racetrack. They don't know how they're going to handle. They've seen rain or water seeping out of the racetrack. There's a lot of anxiousness in these drivers, but a lot of talent and great teams and drivers out there that can transfer through the All-Star and be a factor in the All-Star as well.
But Darrell, I like this format given the conditions, because one driver will transfer in that first segment, but for the other 24, that first 20 laps is a great practice session for the last 2 segments.
Well, it is, but see, not like Jeff and I, we'd be worried about the car and the track and the conditions. You got 2 rookies starting up front. You know what they're worried about? Winning this race and moving on. That's all they're worried about. The rest of it will take care of itself.
Let's hope so.
Well, we'll have a throwdown for the showdown.
The Sprint Showdown is the order of business on Charlotte Motor Speedway right now. 50 laps, 3 segments. And boy, the weather's played havoc today, curtailing practice for the All Star race drivers up to 66 degrees. And the sky has brightened somewhat despite a very heavy cloud cover here. But no rain right now. That is the good news. Let's have a look at the Geico starting grid for the Sprint Showdown. Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon. Second All-Star appearance for Chase, was 5th in this race last year. Austin top 10 in both his Showdown starts. Rookie Ryan Blaney, first All-Star weekend for him, and A.J. Allmendinger, who won this in 2008. Trevor Bayne finished 7th in the Showdown last year. Ricky Stenhouse was runner-up in 2013 and transferred to the All-Star race. Kyle Larson, 6th in 2014, and Paul Menard, last year's runner-up. Danica Patrick, top 10 in all 3 Showdowns, and Greg Biffle, runner-up in 2010. Those are your top 10 of 25 starters in the Showdown.
What do you say we dial up our pole sitter, Chase Elliott? Hey, Chase Elliott, Jeff up at FS1 booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, you got a great starting position for this Showdown. I know how bad you want to make it into that All-Star race. But, boy, we've got a new tire, less downforce. We've got weepers out there. I mean, what in the world is your mindset to get started in this first segment?
I'm excited. Looking forward to it. It's a lot of unknowns, but it's the same for everybody. So we'll see how it turns out.
What, do you have any strategy? I mean, we know in the All-Star race you just got to go all out. But in this one, can you do the same? Or is there a little strategy that you guys are thinking about?
Oh, I think, our first goal would be to try to get in, in this first segment. If we can do that, that'd be the ideal situation. If not, I think Alan's got some good ideas for pit strategy. And like I said, hopefully we don't need to get that far.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us. Boy, we're all excited up here, and I know you are as well. Have a great one.
Thanks, man.
He shares the front row with Austin Dillon. Here's your sprint track description of Charlotte Motor Speedway. 1.5 mile quad oval, 24-degree banking in the corners, 5 degrees on the straightaways. The front stretch so much longer than the back because of that quad oval. Scheduled to open for Memorial Day 1960. Construction delays. The first World 600 was held June 19th of that year. This race will run in 3 segments. Segment 1 and 2. 20 laps each, mandatory 2-tire pit stop. The winner of each segment advances. And segment 3, just 10 green flag laps. The winner also advances. And then 2 drivers from the fan vote will also get into the All-Star race tonight. Let's get late stories from pit road. Jamie Little.
Well, Brian Scott in the 44 is one of 4 drivers in the Showdown for the first time ever. But he told me even though they haven't had a single lap of practice, he feels pretty good about his chances. He's one of 4 drivers who did the Goodyear tire test here in March. And because of that, he feels like he has a good baseline. Today, he said it's all out. Go for broke, go for the win. Matt Yoko?
Jamie, I spoke to Austin Dillon moments before he crossed the stage of driver intros, and he told me his mindset coming in, it's a lot like pulling into a short track. Late, you've missed hot laps, you've missed qualifying. You have just enough time to unload the car and get in it for the heat race. Aggression, he said that's going to be at an all-time high. And Larry Mack, so many unknowns, but excitement should be a lot of fun here coming up.
Well, Matt, we know every one of these 50 laps on the racetrack is going to be important, but as Mike Joy pointed out, at the end of segment 1 and segment 2, a mandatory minimum 2-tire pit stop. We've seen all the problems all year on pit road, so those 2 pit stops could be important. Plus, with no time on the track, I bet a lot of these drivers, Mike, will be looking for adjustments when they hit pit road.
Well, I think so, Larry. They're on the backstretch. Green flag next time by 25 cars as the 2016 Toyota Camry XSE leads the field. Back in, I'm sorry, let's get a little audio from Trevor Bayne starting 5th.
Today is about fun and winning, which is more fun. So let's go have fun and win this thing. I don't know how I feel about the car, but I'll find out here in a minute, and I'll let you know.
All right, Trevor Bayne starting 5th. Back at 18th, Matt DiBenedetto says if he gets into the All Star race, he'll change the name above the driver's door to Matt DiBurrito.
Everybody having fun for this event.
He's got his middle name up there now, which is Guido.
Yep. He's good to go.
Pace cars in. First 20-lap segment of 3 segments in the sprint throwdown or showdown. Let's find out which. Into the restart zone. Green flag waves. Exit of 4 is where there was some dampness.
Watch Larson on the inside, make it 3 wide. He is so exciting to watch, especially on those short runs on these restarts. He'll go to the outside, the inside, amazing.
Well, we are in Kansas, you know, and he had a great car there. Very similar racetrack, mile-and-a-half racetrack. Wouldn't surprise me to see him get in that high line and try to get to the front.
Larson started 7th. He pops out 6th at the end of lap 1. Behind Elliott, Blaney, Dillon, Allmendinger, and Stenhouse.
Like we got those young guys up there at the front, and I tell you, we should see a heck of a battle here between these 2 rookies. You got Austin Dillon right there. Got some good race cars at the front.
Watch Ricky Stenhouse Jr. kind of come out on the good end of this too, while those guys are battling it out and banging off of one another.
Yeah, the paint trading started real early.
Well, they haven't had any practice.
Yeah, I was anxious to see what Chase Elliott was going to do on which lane to pick on that first original start. He started on the bottom, but he got a great push from behind from the other rookie, Ryan Blaney, and now those 2 are sitting there 1-2 in front of Austin Dillon.
First place is all that matters. Only one driver in this 20-lap segment transfers directly to the All-Star race.
And Mike, could we have 2 better rookies, Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney? These 2 guys have been nip and tuck all season long, right here running 1st and 2nd. And Blaney's car looks maybe a skosh better than that 24.
You know, they've both done a tremendous job, but high marks to the Wood brothers because they've not run a full season since, what, 2007?
Oh, it's been a while, and they're getting their cars better. They're getting their inventory built up. I think that 21 team's going to be really strong second half of the year.
I really see Ryan Blaney driving deep into the corner, carrying a lot of entry speed, but it just doesn't want to stick as he lands into the banking, and that's where Chase Elliott sort of creeps out on him on the exit.
There's
Leonard
the
Wood.
That is one of the smartest men that's ever worked on a race car.
If you go to Stewart, Virginia and visit the Wood Brothers Museum and see some of the things that Leonard Wood has just built and constructed from scrap metal, you'll see why we call him our sports Thomas Edison. He's amazing.
He is. He's done some incredible stuff. Still working on these cars every day.
Could a rookie win the All-Star race tonight? Wouldn't be the first time. Rookie All-Star race winners include Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 2000 and Ryan Newman in 2002. The Sprint network is fastest, plus it's more reliable with better coverage than ever.
Mike, I like to watch the stopwatch, and so far the 24 and the 21 are matching lap times, just about identical lap times.
you know, Mike, what I'm anxious about on talking about a rookie possibly winning the All-Star race, did those rookies transfer through the Showdown and get valuable information from this race and take it into the All-Star, or did they already transfer through because they had a win at that point in the season? I just think this is the best test session that any cars have had out here so far this weekend.
That may give these Showdown drivers a leg up on the All-Star racers, some of whom were bemoaning the lack of practice this morning.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that earlier today, and we thought these guys running these two races, the 50 laps this morning, would have a slight advantage.
Austin Dillon trying to keep pace with the two rookies, and then it's a big gap back to Allmendinger, Stenhouse, Bain, Larson, and Menard.
Boy, Ryan Blaney really keeping Chase Elliott honest in this one. You know, we're 10 laps into this race, or I'm sorry, 8 laps into this race. We're now starting to see some fall off. We talked about these Goodyear tires being different structure, different compound. They should start to give up. We hadn't seen it up until the last lap or two. Now that's going to change the complexion of this race if it goes green all the way to the end of this segment.
Jeff, that gap Blaney cannot close that gap. That about 10, 15 car length gap that the 24 has over him. They are running identical times, really and truly. I watch every lap. They're within a few hundred of each other every lap.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan's a little bit better in 3 and 4. He gets to the bottom of the white line, is able to hook that white line. I don't know if Chase is a little bit tight down there in 3 and 4, but then down here in 1 and 2, it looks like Chase's car's getting off a turn to a little bit better.
That time by it was a 29.32 on the 24 and a 29.27 on the 21. Just been that way back and forth.
Even though there's...
There it is right there. That's
right
where
there.
That is where Ryan Blaney gains going into turn 3, a half a car length or so each lap.
Yeah, he seems to be driving into 3 really, really hard. A little harder than Chase is. That time by, again, Mike, look at the lap time.
These guys have they've been battling since lap 1.
Yes.
Here they go again. Now, I think this is where Larson's so smart. Whoa, there's 6 car. Bain slides up, almost clipped the quarter panel of the 42. This is where Larson's so good. He searches around the racetrack, is good or better than even some of the veterans out there. And now we're actually seeing Ryan Blaney start to do the same thing. Look at this block. Stenhouse saw it coming. Oh, he gets loose and caught the wall.
He got the wall, but he carried that thing in a little hard.
Bain gets back by both of them.
42, I love he runs that high line, but he hits the wall a lot, too.
Yeah, well, right there, I mean, he didn't have a choice. He went to the outside, and Stenhouse saw it coming and just went up there to block him and actually ended up hurting himself and may have caused a little damage to the right side.
Yeah, he's got a little damage down the right side. Last time by, it looked like got the tire, Goodyear rubbed off side of the tires.
He sees Larson coming. He wants to get up there and block it, get it before he gets there. But look, he gets super loose up there. Wow, actually the 42 made contact. The 17 got loose but never made contact.
Yeah, the 42 definitely got to pretty hard contact. The whole right side's in.
Wow, look at this, guys, up front. Now, that 21's been working that outside. We saw, just like Larson, look, same type of situation. Chase is going to have to move up as well and block that move.
These guys race like 2 veterans, you know, like they've done this for years.
They are veterans. Think how long they've been racing. They aren't just young rookies at racing. They've got a lot of seat time.
Oh, wow.
Man, he was looking.
Now, that's just great thinking as a driver right there. He knew the 24 was going to go block that outside. He said, okay, I'll take the inside.
Austin Dillon closing in. He's now just 1.3 seconds back.
Whoa, we saw the 21.
Ooh, he got a little loose
right there.
Yeah. I think that little charge that 21 put on there on Chase, I think it woke Chase up. He said, I better get away from this guy. He's pretty serious about this.
5 laps to go, Larry.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of decisions to be made on.
Whoa,
Here's
straight away.
Out now.
Michael McDowell comes sliding off turn 4 through the grass of the quad oval and finally ends up back on the pavement right near the start-finish line. Just a big single car slide for McDowell, who was in 15th place. Everybody's still on the lead lap, so no free pass.
Yeah, McDowell wanted to keep that car moving and got it out of the grass, got it on the pavement, and was able to drive away. Yeah, just see the car gets loose off turn 4 there, and down into the grass he goes, which is wet and muddy. Woo!
You know, the drivers and the teams in these cars, they make it look so easy, like the cars are just on rails. They're not. They're not. They're on edge just like that, and that's how easy these cars can come around.
Last time we saw somebody do something similar, that was Carl Edwards, remember? And he tore the whole, he won the race and tore his car up all at the same time.
Yeah, he hit a storm drain with the front splitter, and that killed his car. Fortunately, it was after the race was over. McDowell going again. He'll be able to pit and continue. Caution laps do count in these first 2 segments. Now, pit road is still open. And it'll be 1 to go at the line.
Look at these tracks.
Look at that. Look at that lawn job.
But it's going to go even all the way back further. You can see the marks all the way through turn 4 where the car came around and got loose.
Hey, look, we're coming to 1 to go here, guys. This is going to be a heck of a shootout right here, boys.
Look at this. What's that, 4th place? That's Allmendinger that decided to come first. Biffle.
Dinger pitting from 4th. Biffle trying to get a Roush car into the All-Star race. None are in it now. They've had one every year since 1990.
Hey guys, the rule says minimum 2 tires. They're going to get their rights here. They'll get lefts headed into that second segment. They'll have essentially 4 fresh tires.
So all these drivers, Larry, you're saying they're playing for segment 2.
Absolutely. They're going to have 4 fresh tires where pretty much probably Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, they're only going to get 2. They're going to have older left side tires.
Good point.
It's a great strategy, Larry, and either way, if you get everybody to follow you down pit road, you got 4 fresh tires against the other older tires out in front of you, or you set yourself up for that next segment. I think it's brilliant.
I do too, but right now I just want to win this segment. I don't have to worry about all that.
The last 2 years, the winner of segment 2 got 4 tires at the end of segment 1. So good strategy there by drivers who don't figure to be punching their ticket for the All-Star race after segment 1. Matt.
Mike, great move by Allmendinger and his team, because basically he was just holding on that car extremely free. They're playing for segment 2. Jamie.
And the opposite on the 16, too tight. He couldn't run the top or the bottom, so they took lefts there. Remember, he won segment 1 last year in the Showdown, so they'll be able to take rights, like Larry Mack said. Next stop.
Let's have a look at today's Ford Performance Track Facts. Greg Biffle raced into the All-Star race last season. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. raced into the All-Star race from the Showdown in 2013. 2 of the Roush-Keteers trying to advance. Trevor Bayne is the other.
All right, Jeff, who's got the advantage on this restart?
Well, I got to say, DW, I'm a little bit concerned about this 24 car taking that inside lane. We saw the outside really starting to come in for the 21. He gave the 21 the outside. Now it's crucial that he doesn't spin a tire. He gets a nice push from that 3 to get clear of the 21 before they get there.
So this won't be a green-white checker. This will just be a restart with 1 lap to the end of segment 1. Here's some Ryan Blaney team audio.
That was okay. Just need to get by him. It's hard to pass anybody. You're going to get your shot right here. I know you're going to do it. Yeah, it's up forward.
The restart zone is marked out, and it's in the dogleg, the first of the 2 doglegs that make out the quad oval. And the restart lines are marked all the way across the track. There they are. There's the restart zone as seen from pit road, but there's a double line at one end and a single line, and anywhere in that area the pole car can restart. If they don't restart by the end of that area, the flagman starts the race.
Tell you one thing, that 24 better get some going, because he doesn't want Austin Dillon getting it 3 wide going through the dog leg down here. That could be a big problem.
Pit road is closed, and here they come, heading for the restart box. Begins there.
Well, nice even start. 21 take off maybe a slight second before the 24. He's gonna. I think he's going to clear.
3 wide. The restart under review.
Oh, look at this! Look at this!
Here goes
3 wide up the middle. The 6.
What a move! Trevor Bayne.
But it isn't over.
No. And Blaney jumped the restart. That is NASCAR's ruling. And it's Trevor Bayne with the lead over Chase Elliott.
Wait, look at this. Look at this. He's got a hand on him.
Trevor Bayne is leaning all over him.
Boy, I hate that for Ryan Blaney, but
20 laps are complete. Whoa, whoa. 20 laps are complete. They're going to waive the caution.
I believe
however, It will be decided, the finishing order is decided at the start-finish line at the end of segment 20.
Yeah,
Let's have a look.
It was a great move by the 24 to stay in the left rear of that 6 car.
I think the 6 got him.
I think the 6 got him. What an amazing move off of turn 2 for Trevor Bayne to go 3 wide up the middle.
Look at that.
I couldn't call it from that.
I did not see that one coming.
I didn't either, brother. I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know what. This restart was crazy. But you'll see the 21 fire, what NASCAR calls fire off first. He gassed it. Then he realized it. You'll see right here. Watch. Watch the 21. He gets a little bit of a jump.
Yeah. I think he knew how crucial this restart was to time it perfectly, and he just misjudged slightly.
A restart violation. They spun his tires.
And he slowed down.
And the 6 was pushing me. 2 things going on. I'm half throttle, waiting on him.
Now, NASCAR has a senior official stationed in the restart zone in the walkway there at the grandstand, and it is his job to look and listen and help the officials in the tower judge whether the pole car went first or the outside pole car. Let's listen to Chase Elliott as he takes off.
Bit of wheel spin.
Yeah, but I still think the 21 just left a little too early.
He left a little early. He was trying to anticipate it.
It's a difficult call. There is the official right there outside the restart zone judging what happens in that box.
There's no doubt that the 24 waited pretty long into the box before he took off, and he did have a little bit of wheel spin, but I think they're looking at more just the movement and who tried to accelerate first before they got to the end of the box.
He got in the gas just a teeny bit quicker than the 24 did.
It's a ball and strike call that the officials made. Ryan Blaney jumped the restart, and at the line, Trevor Bayne, who restarted 4th by 5/1000ths of a second, beat Chase Elliott to the line, and Trevor Bayne's showdown is done. He moves on to the All-Star race.
Good for him.
Matt?
And the 3 of Austin Dillon started front row. He's currently in the 4th position now. He even threw up the idea of pitting when he saw the caution come out previously, and he knew some guys were going to pit, but Slugger Labby said, let's stick to our game plan. Right now, though, the car is on the free side. 2 tires, the game plan. That should help tighten him up. Jamie?
And Jeremy Bullen's crew chief for Ryan Blaney still arguing the point with NASCAR. They will drop to the back, and when they pit, he said his car is tight on the bottom in the middle. He likes it on the outside. They're going to make a wedge adjustment as everybody comes down pit road. Matt?
Here comes the 42, Chad Johnson, looking to try to help the balance of that race car. Kyle Larson said just when the car lands, not on the splitter, but when he landed, it was really on the tight side.
Minimum 2 tire stop required.
It looks like that's exactly what they're doing. A lot of 2 tire stops.
See Stenhouse, Boyer, and others putting on 4. Di Benedetto. Now, because of jumping the restart, Ryan Blaney will have to restart at the tail end of the field, so he will get 4 tires. Segment 1, history. Trevor Bayne, the winner. 2 segments to go.
You're watching Fox NASCAR.
Segment 1 complete. The cars made their stops, exited pit road, and then at the entrance of pit road were stopped by NASCAR inspectors for lug nut check.
We're looking at Brian Scott here, and we were looking at our Eagle system right here. This lug nut right there, you can see it's there, but NASCAR told us yesterday that it has to be against the wheel. They were not going to check torque or anything, but it has to be more than just on the stud, and obviously that one was not.
So he will restart at the tail end of the field. And let's hear from the surprise winner of segment 1. Here's Matt.
And Miss Sprint Cup presenting Trevor Bayne with a trophy for his Showdown performance. But you're looking for the big check and the bigger trophy later tonight. Walk us through your great pass to get that P1 position.
Well, I don't think I was sweating until lap 19 there, coming off of turn 2, and there was a tiny hole. We got a good restart, pushed the 21 out to the front after the start-finish line there, and our Advocare Ford was good in clean air, but all we had is a restart. So off of 2, they kind of fanned out a little bit. I got a run and saw a little hole, and somehow we made it through without getting our car beat up. So got stuck kind of in the middle of those guys, and Ricky came and gave me a huge push. Without that, we probably didn't win the race, really. You know, they were sucking me back, and he helped me get by that barrier, and it's really nice to have a teammate like that that'll choose to work with you when it may not be in his best interest, so I appreciate that. Really proud of my guys with no practice to go out and win the first 20-lap segment. That's our practice for the All Star, and really we just treated that like that was for the million. If you don't win that segment, you don't get a shot at it in the All Star race, and just really happy for this Advocare team to be racing later on the night.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Second straight year that Roush Fenway Racing has won segment 1. Greg Biffle did it last year. Trevor Bayne will not be in segment 2 or 3 because he advances to the All-Star race.
I
so
tell you that,
24 cars will start.
Mike, Bayne wanted that. I mean, he went for it, man. He went 3 wide. That was a gamble. Paid off.
Saw a little hole. It was the last lap. What incredible finishes we've had this year. And there's another one. So now, after pit stops, Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon will be on row 1.
Look, I think Chase Elliott learned a little something from that last time, and he chose the outside on this start.
I agree.
I think, you know, as rubber gets laid down on the racetrack, especially if you only have 2 tires or older tires, I think that outside lane is going to be the more preferred lane.
Here's some audio from Austin Dillon and team.
Can I not beat him to the line even now? Like a regular restart, you can, I thought. Yeah, you can. You can now on a regular restart. Why did Blaney did he jump first? Yeah, man, it was close, though. It was close. It was too close that I would have called that, but whatever.
It was close, but yes.
And they are right on the rule. They're right on the rule. Even though we had a winner in segment 1, this will be a restart. So it's who fires off on the box first, and that has to be the control car, which is Chase Elliott. Now, as we look up at turn 4, looks like we got a little bit of a weeper there as well. And as they come through 2 and 3 wide, that certainly could be a concern. So NASCAR will go out and have a look at that. They've added a lap before we begin segment 2. Now, Greg Biffle,
quite a bit of water. You can see right here, Mike. I mean, that's a lot of water running out from under that wall.
And we saw earlier they already poured Speedy Dry to try to soak up that water behind the wall.
So let's set the field for you. Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon on the front row. Greg Biffle, Kyle Larson, row 2. Eric Almirola, A.J. Allmendinger, row 3. McDowell recovered for 7th. With Menard, Mears, and Stenhouse will be the top 10 when we begin segment 2.
Getting ready for segment 2 of the Showdown, 25-year-old Trevor Bayne in his Ford. He is in the All-Star race tonight. A quick recap. Chris Myers here along with Michael Waltrip. Kyle Larson came in on a hot run here. He's battling a little bit with Stenhouse Jr. And the rookies battling for the lead. Looked like it was going to be either Chase Elliott or Ryan Blaney.
And then a late caution comes out, and on the restart you can see Blaney leaves first. That's an infraction. That means he's not a part of the story, but the story became Trevor Bayne. What a move he made.
Splits the cars 5/1000ths of a second to edge out Chase Elliott and make it in. Let's check in with Jamie Little.
And Brian Patty's crew chief for the 16, and Greg Biffle. Great strategy call there in segment 1. Pitted not once, but twice. Now you guys have the track position restarting 3rd here. Is the car good enough, handling well enough to get the job done here in segment 2?
Hope so. Yeah, we're starting 10th by points like that didn't do us any favors. But if we'd have qualified, I thought we'd have done better. But doing the best we can, try to do our job in the pits here, and give him the best car available, and see if he can work it out there. But I think we made some pretty big adjustments there: tape, left rear wedge, and air pressure to free the thing up.
Good car. Lots of experience, Mike.
So Biffle is the first car in line with 4 fresh tires. He pitted from 8th on lap 17 to get 2. Got 2 more at the break. Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon up front have 2 fresh tires. Green flag.
Man, they came all the way through the restart box. Chase did that time.
Oh, look
look at Larson,
I'm
man.
telling you, Larson's going to be somebody to deal with. He's going to that outside, and he's going to try to take him around the outside.
He's going to get there.
He's going to pin Chase down. It's going to allow Austin Dillon to maybe squeeze out front. And here comes Biffle with his 4 good new tires.
Boy, Chase not in a good position here in the middle, 3 wide.
Dillon. Then Biffle. Then Larson. Then Elliott as they come off turn 4.
I'll tell you what, Biffle's looking really good. So is Brian Patty with that pit strategy call.
Yeah, and here comes Almirola, who also has 4 fresh ones.
He's got 4 as well.
He's in 4th.
Don't count out Larson on the top.
I think Larson's the guy because he'll run that outside. He almost made that work, got in the wall earlier in the 20-lapper, but he'll make it work.
Stenhouse flying, got a great run off turn number 2, runs up against traffic. He's the 7th car in this 7-car breakaway.
Well, you just, when you're a driver like Larson or even Greg Biffle, you go low one turn, see if that works. You go high the next turn, see if that works. Looking for a little running room.
Allmendinger tried to block Stenhouse, who went to the high side, and they're just about to inhale the next car in line, Elliott.
Now, we saw Kyle Larson last week racing Matt Kenseth, and he had a lot of respect for Matt Kenseth, the veteran. You think he's going to do that here in the showdown? I don't know. There's $1 million on the line to make it through.
Ryan Blaney had to restart in the back. 24th. He's up to 15th.
Mike and Jeff, I like what Trevor Baines said. This is like $1 million race to us because you got to win this to get in it.
Whoa, you see the 21 of Blaney get down the apron. Really upset the car, not to mention probably ground down the splitter a little bit there.
And watch Ricky Stenhouse, top of the frame. He'll catch the wall coming off.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he avoided it earlier when he was sliding up top to block Larson. He didn't avoid it that time.
That was a lot of damage. 17, a lot of damage right side.
Well, it's go or go home.
Well, those 4 tires at Biffle, basically 2 brand new rights and a couple of laps on those lefts, that might pay off at the end of this thing here. We'll have to wait and see.
How about the 3rd place car, Matt?
Outside is the preferred lane. It showed a lot of speed. Segment 1. Now, while pitting, the 42 team pulled on that right rear quarter panel a couple of times because you showed earlier he had fenced it. A little bit of yellow paint there. Also, Kyle Larson told me before the race, it's all about 10-10ths. Getting the most out of your car, all aggression.
Here comes Biffle.
Oh, yeah.
He's there.
Oh, yeah. Austin tried to block him getting in a corner, but he got up the hill just enough, and Biffle got under him, and here he goes.
That's a case of my 4 tires beat your 2 tires.
You got it, brother.
I thought it was going to take a little longer for those tires to really play out, but yeah, they came on early. I mean, only 6 laps in. That's gonna talk to these crew chiefs that are looking at the All-Star race and the strategy of putting 4 tires on later on tonight. I think 4 tires are going to play out really well.
The other thing it tells me, Jeff, those Roush Fenway cars came over here and they're dead serious. I mean, Trevor Bain wins the first 20-lapper. You got the 16 leading the second 20-lapper, and those cars are fast.
I'm still shaking my head at Trevor Bain's move because that didn't look like a Trevor Bain move. But, boy, he wanted it. He went for it. He got it.
Well, for $1 million, you'll make a move like that.
Blaney on Menard right here, trailing Danica Patrick. This brings Blaney up to 11th.
Now, will we see the same strategy play out in this one if a caution comes out? The problem with the 3-car falling back.
Yeah, he just went up the hill like something happened. I think something happened to the car.
Matt, what's up?
He just came on the radio. He thinks something is amiss, possibly a tire going down on the 3. He's trying to feel it out.
Yeah, he got real loose getting into the bank and into turn 3.
And now Chase Elliott goes by. That'll be for 5th place.
Those 2 tires are not working out well for Chase Elliott in the 24 car at all.
Let's listen in on Greg Biffle's team.
It's going to look like later, boys.
Not yet.
You know what?
It's only 10 laps in.
You know what Biffle has going for him right now? His crew chief. Brian Patty has won this race the last 2 years with Clint Boyer. Brian Patty just made some great moves in the pits to put that 16 car out front.
Out front and pulling away is Greg Biffle.
It's interesting, you know, we talked about the 3-car of Austin Dillon having some kind of a problem, and he fell off the pace, but now he's back on the pace.
I think maybe, Jeff, with the 2 tires, maybe he just drove in the corner a little hard, and the car took off with him, and I first thought, well, they got a tire going down.
So Dillon recovers in 6th place. But remember, in this segment, first is the only spot to transfer.
And Mike, remember, these first 3 cars, they all have, they pitted under that caution, got right or got lefts, and then they come back on that last go around and got. So they basically have 4 new tires.
The caution,
and they're pulling away.
The cautions fell absolutely perfect as we see Kyle Larson get loose there off the turn 2. Felt perfect for that strategy, and they took full advantage of it, and now it's paying off. That's what I love about this race, what I love about the All-Star race. There's so many different ways to win it.
Going to have a battle for second. Eric Almirola closing in on Kyle Larson here with 8 to go.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jeff. You got to think outside the box here. This is not routine. This is not normal. This is something different, and you got to think about it in a different way.
You got to be aggressive on pit road in your pit strategy and think outside the box, like you said. And also, as a driver on these restarts, and as you're making these passes and moving around the racetrack, there's just all kinds of things to think about on and off the racetrack.
And you only have 20 laps.
and then you got to go.
It condenses everything even more.
And the next one's going to be 10.
Greg Biffle looking for his 13th consecutive All-Star race. He's been in it every year since 2004.
Well, I'm watching lap times with Biffle, and he's about a couple of tenths slower overall than that first 20-lapper was. But he doesn't have to run that hard. He's got a nice, comfortable lead here, too.
Wow, we just saw him move by the 21, go to the outside of the 10 through 3 and 4.
Now, Kyle Larson's the only one in the top 4 who doesn't have 4 fresh tires. Top 2 on the restart had only 2.
And Mike, the box that they're in with that 42 car is, you would think, okay, we're going to get another caution in 5 laps. He maybe could then come get 4 tires. But I think it's going to be too little too late by that point with all those others out there on 4 fresh tires.
Ryan Blaney still digging just past Landon Castle.
Digging is an understatement. Did you see how hard he was driving the car around the bottom right there? Thing's completely sideways. He's determined.
He was kind of hoping. I bet Blaney would love to have seen a caution. That's the only way he would have had a shot, particularly now that he's in the position he's in. But we're coming down
on a mission here. He'll have to depend on segment 3.
Well, that's just it. You know, this thing is far over. I mean, he has another opportunity. He has a fast race car, fresher tires. He's got to make up all these positions that he can and then play out the right strategy and be aggressive on that next restart for the 10.
Best showdown format ever. 3 different segments, 3 different winners advance. A lot of opportunity.
I think Blaney's going to be in pretty good shape, Jeff. I tell you why, because he keeps getting by cars. He's going to pass Austin Dillon here into 3 now. That's going to put him in the top 5.
Whoa, Almirola almost got up and into the wall.
Hang on to it.
What a save.
He did get in the wall, Mike. The right side tires are all blacked up.
And it goes back to what we were talking about. If the 16 wins this race, he's going to go down into the pits after this race. So that is actually a potential pass for the lead on this final 10-lap segment. That's why Eric Almirola is being so aggressive with trying to make that move.
But Blaney is the one I'm really watching, and he's passing cars, passing cars. He's now running 1, 2, 3, 4. He's like 5th.
Pit road's going to close as we come toward the end of this segment. Landon Castle just put a huge move on Ricky Stenhouse. Here he comes after Austin Dillon. He's going to make it up into the top 7 here.
Yeah, Dillon's kind of wounded. I don't know what his problem is. Just the car's not right.
We saw you talk about wounded. The 43, I think that damage is costing him. Here comes the 24, getting that position.
4th place. Leader coming up on some lap traffic here. Reed Sorensen just ahead. Jeffrey Earnhardt in front of him. 1 to go.
Whoa, whoa, boy, Biffle had to check up. Wow.
That's Reed Sorensen that he had to go underneath there in 1 and 2.
Biffle started to go low about the time Sorensen started to go low, and that was almost disastrous.
Goes past Jeffrey Earnhardt. And this will be the completion of the 20-lap segment. Greg Biffle is going to move on. Positions decided at the line, and once the field cycles through, then the caution flag will wave. So Kyle Larson second, Allmendinger third, Chase Elliott fourth, Almirola, Blaney, and Castle.
I think these guys are going to be faced. It took 2 tires. They got to think about taking 4 tires. Right now, I think Blaney's in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think any of those drivers that took 4 tires, I think they're in the driver's seat. I think Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, they're in a bind here because they have not changed 4 yet.
I agree.
Jeffrey Earnhardt gets the free pass on this caution flag. We're going to have 10 laps to go and one more driver to race his way in. Roush Gutierrez, Trevor Bayne, and Greg Biffle are in the Sprint All Star race tonight.
See Eric Almirola just trying so hard, got a little bit loose, stepped over the edge, the grip level in the rear, and unfortunately flat side of the right side of the car.
Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
He'll be able to put some tires on that baby and go again.
So they won't have to race Greg Biffle in segment 3.
Hope no one had dinner reservations.
That's Brian Patty. He's
I like Brian. Boy, he is entertaining.
Just get your bag of Cheez-Its and have at it, boys.
Yep.
Good job, Brian. Nice call.
Yeah, great job by that team.
So Greg Biffle goes to the garage. Let's see what we can expect on pit stops. Matt.
Tale of 2 segments for Kyle Larson in the 42. The first segment, he was tight. They made a chassis adjustment, over-adjusted. Now the car has swung to the free side. They're going to reverse that and add a little more on a chassis adjustment to try to find better balance, Jamie.
Well, the 43 had great speed. They took lefts at the brake. He was a little loose until he brushed the wall. Now he's saying he's a little too tight, so look for another adjustment, Matt.
And looking at the 24 of Chase Elliott, he ended that segment in the 4th position. They took right sides only on that earlier caution. He was on the splitter early. This past segment, he was on the tight side. They were waiting for the pressures to come up. They did. It was better, but still not where he needs it to be. Jamie?
And look who's back. He restarted 24th. Ryan Blaney drove all the way up to 5th. Look out. We could have a 21-24 shootout for the final segment, Mike.
Larry, what do you think?
I just think you don't have a choice. If you're up near the front, you have to change 2 tires. That's not good news for Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon. If you change 4, yeah, you'll have 4 fresh tires, but you're going to be way back in the pack. Too many cars have 4 fresh tires from earlier.
I agree, Larry. Again, I keep saying it. I think the 21's in there say you boys are in trouble.
I just think the 24 is concerned. His car was really not very good there, especially in the shorter part of that segment on 2 tires. And I know he's begging for 4, but I'm pretty sure the crew chief's saying no, we can't do it.
I don't think you can, but I don't think that's a winning strategy.
All right, tires versus track position. Chase Elliott has the first pit stall. Kyle Larson in front of him. Right sides for both of them and for Allmendinger and Patrick. 2 or 4 for Chase Elliott. 2 for Kyle Larson. Looks like most everybody down pit road's taking on 4. So Kyle Larson gets out first with a 2-tire stop. Paul Menard, 2 tires. Tires versus track position. Boy, this should be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
One driver won't have to worry about it is with Jamie.
Greg Biffle, I tell you, you've been fired up all day, and the radio chatter has been phenomenal. Congratulations, segment 2 winner. You guys made some adjustments there. How good do you think the car is moving on to tonight? And that $1 million as you were talking about.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I'll tell you what, these guys did a great job with the Cheez-It Ford Fusion. We've been getting better and better. Just don't have any results to show for that. But the pit crew won me this one. You know, they got me out 3rd. And, you know, we've beat them up. We've struggled a little bit. Me getting on the pit road right in the pit box. So everything went great today. And we're in the big race tonight. And just like to win a points race now. I'd like the $1 million, but I want a points race and get in the chase. So we've really come a long ways. I'm excited for Trevor to be in, and now, you know, Ricky, hopefully he has a shot at that last segment.
Definitely good to see the 16 leading again. Take your trophy there. Miss Sprint Cup presents him with Sprint Showdown Segment 2 winner. Mike.
All right, 2 tires for Ryan Blaney, and look who's in 3rd place, Landon Castle, with a 2-tire stop. Boy, this is going to get interesting. NASCAR's first All-Star race, driving for Junior Johnson, Darrell Waltrip.
Hey, what happened to that engine?
Right at the finish line.
That engine has blown up more than any engine in the history of NASCAR. It blows up every year.
I just want to know, was it designed to do that?
I have no idea. I'm just a driver. I just hold the steering wheel and hang on.
Back then it was the Winston, and it was a Sprint for a whole lot of money. By the way, switch to Sprint. Save 50% on most Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile rates. Go to sprint.com/network. 1985 seems like a long time ago.
It was.
But let's turn our attention to the 10 laps at hand.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson, A.J. Allmendinger, the front row. Landon Castle, Drew pit box number 1, so he's the surprise in 3rd. Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Eric Almirola. Who's going to win this?
I got 21. I think 21's in the best shape, and he's got a fast car.
You got Kyle Larson up front there. I think that Chase Elliott's a little bit too far back with those 4 tires, but I think we're going to see more action. I'm with you, Mike. I love this format for the Showdown, and we've already seen a lot of excitement. More is going to continue. You got Allmendinger and Larson on the front row of this final 10 laps.
And only one is guaranteed to advance. Highlights, Chris Myers.
The Showdown has been a showcase for Ford so far. Let's recap segment 1. Remember, it was the McDowell spin on this soggy, saturated track. The grass in between set up the restart. Blaney, judgment call by NASCAR, jumped the restart, and it was a tight finish for Trevor Bayne, 5/1000ths of a second to win the race and put Roush Fenway Ford in the All-Star race. And then segment 2, Greg Biffle takes the lead over Austin Dillon, who had some problems, and in the 16 car, Biffle with the tires advantage does not look back and wins segment 2. So Michael, the restart 4th for Bayne to win. What does this look like here with just 10 laps?
Well, I'm going to agree with Darrell. It looks like the advantage goes to Ryan Blaney. He's on the outside second row. We know he's got a really fast Ford. Maybe he can make it a sweep for that manufacturer here in the Showdown.
2 drivers in tonight's All-Star race, Mike. 3 more to get in, and 1 more decided here over the next 10 laps.
I guess you'd have to wonder how lucky you feel about the fan vote right now, because 2 drivers will get in from the fan vote. But the risk to reward ratio is kind of high. Trevor Bayne and Greg Biffle, both in Fords, will advance. 1 spot left to race in.
And I'm a little bit confused. I thought surely that Larson would take the outside.
He loves the outside.
So good on the outside. Maybe he didn't want the 21 behind him. Maybe that's what the thinking.
Here's the other wrinkle. Only green flag laps will count.
It's funny how they do it in this particular segment, isn't it? Because we may very well, this could get a little rowdy right here.
This could take a while.
This could take a while, yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Oh, man. Well, I can't wait to see this restart.
An all Chevy front row, Larson and Allmendinger. Castle's Ford, Elliott Chevrolet. Blaney and Almirola in Fords. Dillon and Stenhouse, Patrick Menard. That's your top 10. Pace cars in.
See how this works out. I'm still surprised 42 took the inside.
Green flag.
Well, you got a really good start there, DW. You might have lane choice. Yeah, there he goes.
I think he just didn't want that 21 lined up behind him.
Look at Chase Elliott with 4 tires, taking it 3 wide.
Wow. That was aggressive. That was a nice move. Looked like he did that at Richmond.
He's got more momentum coming down the back straightaway.
That's a Richmond move there. Remember that one when Tony Stewart? That was sweet.
Now he's right behind Blaney.
Whoa, he's going to get him too. Look at this. This thing is not over by any means.
Top to bottom to 3rd place.
Slicing and dicing, baby. Restarted. Here you go.
4 tires and an adjustment, and watch out for Chase Elliott.
Wow, what a lap.
Guy's like his dad.
We were just talking about during the break how he's been a little bit conservative on these restarts, but not that one.
No, he's got that thing going somewhere now. I think he's going to drive it to the front.
That was incredible. Larson, Allmendinger.
Looks like one of those Kyle Busch restarts up against the wall, 3 wide.
Only one rookie has ever won the Showdown. Tony Stewart, 1999. Want to see it again?
Hey, watch this. Hey, watch this.
See him pop out of line here, go to the top of Paul Menard, make it 3 wide, almost 4 wide there.
That was the one right there. Had that hit of steam, and man, that sent him sailing.
I can't believe this elevator move, top to bottom, squeeze it through the needle.
Yep.
Going for third.
That was
sweet.
Fantastic. That's what you call not lifting.
That's aggressive. Now, A.J. Allmendinger has a big mirror in that 47. He could be a tough guy to pass.
He's making it hard right now. He didn't. Chase didn't know which way he was going to go there going into the turn.
Well, you know, he's running out of laps. There's only 6 to go. Here goes. Big run there. Looks like the 47 got loose. That was crucial right there.
That's it.
The only way he's going to get to the lead is to make that pass right then and there.
Is this what we're going to see tonight in the All-Star race in the final segment, where the top 9, 10, or 11 have to get 4 tires and nobody else gets any?
Just think, he restarted 10th, and here he is. He's fighting for the lead right now and probably going to win this race. So those 4 tires work. Lap time wise right now, he's at 29.29, and the leader's a 40, so he's a 10th good right now.
Yeah, but he's coming to 4 to go.
Gonna have to hurry.
Third place, Blaney takes it away from Allmendinger.
Well, you saw Chase really hook the white line right there. He tried to run the high line as we see a battle here for third. He tried to take the high line down to 1 and 2. I think he needs to go to the bottom and use that bottom lane.
I think he had such good success on that restart around the top that he doesn't want to give that up.
It just isn't quite working for him down in 1 and 2. He's getting a bit of a run. If he can work that white line and hook it here, he might be able to get to him.
Neither one of these two have ever made it to the All-Star race.
Oh, he's so much better at 3 and 4. Yeah, he's got a good 3 and 4.
He's
like they're about even in 1 and 2, but he's there now.
Allmendinger got really loose, and Blaney got him for third. 3 to go.
There he goes. Now he's going to hook this white line. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about.
Got to run.
Right there. That was huge.
Got to run. Here we come.
Now Larson doesn't know what to block.
Yeah, he does. That's why he did to block that 24. That's what he knows. Well, he got a little loose.
Look at this. Big run. I think he's going to clear him the way he got this quarter panel. He'll probably have him cleared.
Close.
No, he doesn't. Look
Larson
at
he got him down. He sucked him around. He sucked him around.
2 to go.
Larson pinned him down to the bottom of the racetrack, and Chase almost went around.
Look who's coming. The 21 of Blaney's coming into the picture.
Just pulled him around, man.
This could get big.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the Chase isn't done. He's going to come back.
1 lap to go.
Oh, Blaney says, how about doing that one more time, boys?
He blocks the 21 on the high side.
Oh, this is going to be a run.
He's going to get a big run here.
It's going to be huge.
Big run. Can he get beside him, and can he clear it? Don't go to the inside. Go to the outside. There it is. He's going to get him right here.
I think it's going to be a drag race to the line.
Oh, he's got him.
I think he might have him. He's got the momentum.
Don't wreck.
They touch. They touch. They're sliding. They're banging. Larson got him.
Oh, my goodness.
Are you kidding me?
Got him.
That was amazing. How they did not wreck is unbelievable.
Guys, that was just to get in the All-Star race.
Larry, I don't care. That's $1 million move, brother. $1 million move right there.
I'll tell you what.
How did they both hang on?
Watch this, Mike. Watch.
I got the 24, just had it right there.
He does until he starts getting crowded up the hill.
This reminds me of Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch at Darlington.
Kind of reminds me of Larry and Kyle Petty here a few years ago. Davey Allison.
Wow.
What a finish.
Well, now Chase Elliott's going to have to depend on that fan vote.
Well, if you could vote right now, I'd for sure give it to him. Unbelievable.
What a run. Look at him. Got to do a little body work.
So Kyle Larson advances, and the fan vote is in. Chase Elliott is the sprint fan vote winner. Danica Patrick is the fan vote runner-up. These 5 drivers move into tonight's Sprint All Star race.
That is great, man. Good stuff. We knew that till we thought there'd be a caution, and there should have been.
Gosh, that was some fantastic racing.
Let's watch Chase Elliott's move with 2 to go.
I know he really wanted to get to the outside, but he had such a good run. Larson went to block, but
Larson's
he said,
not
I've got to go to the inside.
Larson is not going to give it up.
I really thought he was going to clear him right there, but Larson did such a great job side drafting him right there.
Watch this right here, though. Right on that door, down on that door, and look what it does. It just
Chase
pulls up back into that 24 right around.
Just saving it. And Larson did a great job recognizing he's coming up the racetrack, gives him room. That was just too young.
Tight, holding you tight. Hang on to it. Coming away here.
I love how he just jumped right back into gas.
He didn't give up. He kept after it. Coming off turn 4 is what's amazing.
That's 2 young, extremely talented race car drivers.
Wow.
Giving it their best right there. Fun to watch.
And that is Kyle Larson's first Sprint Cup checkered flag.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. It's such a great job.
Well, I tell you, for coming and taking 4 and as far back as Chase started, that was an amazing job as well.
I'd like to hear what those 2 drivers have to say about that. That's going to be fun.
It's the last lap here.
I was surprised Larson gave him the outside.
Well, they couldn't put him up against the wall if he didn't. Right here, he pushed him up the hill, in the wall, hanging together. And they never lifted.
That is what this race is all about right there.
Watch this right here. Bam, in the wall. Broke his momentum, and then he's just got him sideways right here.
That is incredible.
Bam. And they never lifted. I mean, all the way to the line.
Here's Matt.
When Kyle Larson started bringing the car down pit road, someone said on the radio that the right side was destroyed, and your reply, I thought, summed up this entire event, which was what?
It was maybe a cuss word in there, but for $1 million. So, you know, we had a good Target Chevy. You know, I knew Chase was going to be good on 4 tires, and I knew he was probably going to win the fan vote. So I knew I had to win because I probably wasn't going to win the fan vote. So did what I could do. Hopefully they can repair the right side good enough, or we can pull out a backup or whatever. But I'm sure Chase is upset with me. He has all the reason in the world to be. But hey, you know, later tonight we're going for $1 million, and I haven't had the chance to do that before. So hopefully we can, you know, get this car back in Ricky Lane and hold a big check later.
So when he dove alongside you and you start sucking him around, did you feel like you had one more shot to try to hold him off at that point? And did you anticipate what he was going to do?
Yeah, I knew. You know, I hate racing like that, sucking on people's doors, but like I said, it's a big race, and that was my only shot to hold him off then. He had a big run on me, and then, yeah, I knew he got loose underneath me, and could see the gap I had, and was hoping him and the 21 would get racing, but they got clear of each other, or he got clear of the 21, and I knew he was going to be back to me in 3 and 4, and I just wanted to protect the bottom because you know, I knew I could fight myself off, or fight him off better down there, and it worked out. So glad to be in the race tonight, and look forward to Caitlin and Owen getting here. And I'm glad I'm not going home right now.
Mike, cancel his dinner reservations. He is in the Sprint All Star race. What a finish! What action! What strategy! This is more than we bargained for. We got more than our money's worth in this.
That was a great format for that showdown. You know, some great drivers that transferred through. Great racing. I mean, this is just the beginning of what we're about to see here tonight. But I'm going to tell this to Kyle Larson when I see him. I'm really glad that he's in this all-star race tonight because he makes things better and more exciting when he's out there.
Think of the process. Just think how much stuff he had to process. Chase is under him. He's got to get down on his door and suck him loose, get him loose. He did that. Then he's got to go down the back. Now he's got to say, do I go high, do I go low? Okay, I'm going to go low. I can defend better on the bottom.
I thought he made a mistake by going low, but it worked out.
It did. And then he's coming off turn 4, and now they got to bang into each other to decide who's going to go for the $1 million tonight. What a last lap.
That 24 car has a little bit of work to do on that body, but
just
Jamie?
Bit.
They'll be working on it. No doubt Chase Elliott has made his way over here. You are the fan vote winner, and Kyle Larson said he knew he had to beat you straight up because you were going to win the fan vote. What's your take on that finish? It sure was exciting for us to watch.
Yeah, well, he did what he thought he had to do to beat us back to the line. Had a really good run off 4, and Made some good adjustments throughout the race to get our car better. Really wasn't good about the mid stages and made a lot of gains, but it's good to be in the race. Obviously, wish we could have voted him, but fortunately, I have some great fans. I really appreciate 3M and Napa for being on our car this weekend, and like I said, I have some great fans to get us in this race because I couldn't get it done for us.
Well, you guys had a little bit more practice than the other All-Stars for tonight's race. How do you think that'll bode for you tonight in your first All-Star race?
Well, I don't know. I think, the sunshine being out right now is going to be a lot different than what it'll be tonight. This racetrack seems to change a lot when the sun goes down, so I expect it to be a good bit different, but good to, get some laps and know what not to do. I messed some things up pretty big there. So.
Well, good speed, and it sure was fun to watch, right, Chris?
It was. Jamie, what a thrill ride today, and this new format has drivers and fans buzzing. Here's who's in. Trevor Bayne, Greg Biffle, Kyle Larson really raced their way in the fan vote. You heard Chase Elliott talking about it. The sprint fan vote with Danica Patrick also making it. So those 5 give us a 20-car, 20-driver field for tonight's 32nd annual Sprint All-Star race. A quick recap here. The first segment, the first 2 or 20 segments, McDowell with the spin, set up a restart. Blaney and Elliott had been leading the pack, and the NASCAR officials said that Blaney jumped that final restart. And Trevor Bayne, after earlier splitting a couple of drivers, edges Elliott by 5 1/1000ths of a second to get Roush Fenway Ford into the All-Star race. And then Greg Biffle taking the lead. He restarted. He finished 8th earlier, then had to restart 4th and won segment 2. And then what a wild finish to the 10-lap segment 3. Chase Elliott on the move, trying to battle here with Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson, remember at Dover last week, he couldn't overtake Matt Kenseth, and that when he got to him, some said, hey, maybe be more aggressive. Here he was aggressive, as was Elliott, fighting off Chase Elliott. And Kyle Larson, at age 23, racing his way into tonight's Sprint All-Star race, door-to-door racing. Absolutely outstanding racing. $1 million on the line tonight. Let's check in as Kyle Larson is celebrating his victory again with Mike Joy.
Thanks, Chris. We're going to go back to segment 1 and revisit that restart with Ryan Blaney. NASCAR's asked us to clear up one fact of that. You see, as they move into the restart zone, we misidentified the gentleman standing there just outside the restart zone as being the senior NASCAR official in charge of that area. In fact, it was a track security guard. NASCAR's official monitoring restarts is stationed on the other side of the track, back behind the pit wall. But it was a judge that Ryan Blaney had jumped that restart.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, it's become pretty simple. Nobody can go until you get to the first line where the restart box starts. Not the leader, not anyone. And it's up to that leader to get the jump to restart the race when you're in the restart box. Now, once you've cleared the restart box on a restart only, it's open season. But you cannot beat that leader until you get out of the restart box.
Right. It's up to the second place car to let the leader fire first is the terminology that was used in our meeting. And it's a ball and strike call. It's a tough call to make. NASCAR made the call, and they judged that Ryan Blaney had jumped that restart, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Mike and Larry. Fans wanting more clarification, and certainly Blaney and the Wood Brother fans as well. Let's check in real quick with Jamie Little.
Runner-up fan vote winner Danica Patrick. Once again, your fans come through for you, Danica. What do you need to do tonight to make that car a little bit better?
Well, first and foremost, thank you to the fans. I mean, the only thing that would make this any better is if I could deliver a great finish for them in an exciting race and pass cars and make the car better for next weekend. But in turn also having a great night. So I definitely felt like there was some things we can learn from getting out there. Obviously, we got put in the challenging situation of having zero practice with a new package and just going out and racing. So there were definitely some issues, and we had to kind of band-aid them for the couple of segments that we had out there. But I really wanted to do better. I felt like I was at the wrong place at the wrong time a few times out there, but on the plus side, I feel like we learned about the car. Even if we didn't make it through, we were going to be more prepared for next weekend. But it's just even that much better to know that I have incredible fans that always come through. And I mean, I don't think that I don't see social media fans, and I see all the times that people said that they had voted for me. So thank you so much, and I hope I give you something fun to watch tonight.
All right, Danica Patrick brings it home 9th in the showdown, Chris.
Yeah, and Jamie in her 3rd All-Star race. race, and you heard her thanking fans. Sprint wants to thank you, the loyal fans of NASCAR, for tuning into today's Sprint Showdown and all your support of NASCAR racing, and Sprint welcoming you for later tonight on FS1 for the NASCAR Sprint All Star race. That'll have two 50-lap segments and then a final 13-lap segment. Camping World Truck Series racing is spread ahead. We're live here on FS1 at 7 Eastern, qualifying in the All-Star race tonight. So we're glad you're watching from Charlotte Motor Speedway. A big day of racing right here.